I'm gay, and I'm an atheist. So to set the record straight, the JREF board pursued me for the position of president of the JREF, obviously because of those two qualifications, right?
Hardly. No, as a matter of fact, I'll be quite frank with you, DJ. I had not met you when nominations were asked for the new president of the JREF. And I had known her name for years, of course. I had not actually met you, and I had no reason to even wonder whether you were gay or not. And you fell into that position very nicely as a result of your talent and your qualifications, not because of your sexual orientation in any way. And I wouldn't want anyone out there listening to this program to think for a second that the JREF is in any way gay-oriented. The fact that we've got a few people in here who are gay, there's no question of that. They make no bones about it. But I don't want anyone to think, oh, now this is a gay organization. Get out of here. That's ridiculous. Any more than saying that it's Protestant or it's an atheist organization.
Well, it's interesting you said that. You know, there has been some hand-wringing out there that you're an atheist and I'm an atheist, therefore is the JREF now an atheist organization? Well, if it is now because I'm an atheist, it always was because you're an atheist and you've always been kind of ruling the roost. But in fact, we're not an atheist organization either.
That's very true. And I want to make one thing else very clear here, just to make sure that we've swept the floor clean here. I am an atheist of what I call the second kind. There are atheists, according to dictionary definitions such as Webster's, where the first meaning of atheist is one who denies the existence of a deity. Then a second classification is one who finds no sufficient evidence to believe in the existence of a deity. I'm of the second kind. I can't prove a negative. I can't prove that there isn't a unicorn someplace in South Africa, for example. I can indicate strongly that it's not very likely, but I can't prove the case. I cannot prove that there is no deity, that there is no God, no angel, no devil, etc. But all I say is I have not seen sufficient evidence to convince me of the contrary.
Okay, so to bring it back to your coming out, not only are you an atheist, and you've been out as an atheist for a long time, but you're gay, you're coming out as gay. You're the leading public intellectual kind of skeptic out there. Do you think that the knowledge of you being gay, is it going to undercut your credibility as a skeptic or maybe diminish your popularity or something? Have you considered that?
Oh, yes, it's a great consideration for me, of course, before I decided to make this announcement, this public announcement. But I very much doubt there will be a negative reaction. I expect a good reaction, except from some of the woo-woos out there, of course, who will celebrate the fact, and they'll be titillated by this, and they'll publish it all over the place. Say, see, I told you. I mean, ridiculous people like that I don't have to deal with, and I shouldn't have to even think about. I don't think it's going to have any impact, certainly on the James Randi Educational Foundation. We're the same foundation that we were just 48 hours ago, and will continue to be all the way through, I certainly hope.
So you mentioned the woo-woos, your critics, your detractors, some of your enemies in the psychic world, the kind of paranormalists. It sounds like you're not too concerned that they might run with the news that you're gay, try to tarnish your reputation, discount what you're saying for science and reason because you just so happen to be homosexual.
Well, they're welcome to try if they want, but I think the reaction is going to be a majority of the reactions are going to be very positive and or just neutral one way or the other. People shouldn't care. They shouldn't care whether I'm bald or not, or whether I have a beard or what. My emotional setup, my philosophical setup, my sociological view of the world and such, some of those things can be important, but they certainly shouldn't influence anybody in a negative fashion. People just mind their own damn business and let me go my way, please. Thank you very much.
Well, the confusion there is, and I get what you're saying, but on the other hand, mind your own damn business. But then you also come out and you make it everyone's business by saying, oh, by the way, I'm gay, pay attention to this.
Yeah, well, as I explained just a moment ago, really, it's just it's about time. I just want to be 100% honest. If I were ever asked the question, I have always maintained that I would simply say, yes, so what? And just look for the reaction. I've never been asked the question directly, certainly in a public way, but now I don't have to worry about answering that question. I wouldn't worry about it. Again, I have no fear of it whatsoever. This is just another step in my life, and tomorrow it'll be the same as it was just yesterday.
I get what you're saying. So you're not coming out in some big, grand statement-making sort of way. You're basically coming out and then saying, now I've come out, next subject.
Exactly. Let's move on.
I want to end, Randy, by talking about skepticism and how it relates to homosexuality. Some folks might wonder what they have to do with each other. I think, in fact, there is something skepticism can do for or with homosexuality. Bear with me. I'll explain what I mean.
Sure.
A lot of cultural conservatives use a kind of pseudoscience to argue against gay rights. And people who rail against pseudoscience should, I think, want to argue against it, right? Even if it has to do with culture war questions like gay rights. So cultural conservatives use junk science to argue that being gay or that gay parenting, leads to mentally ill children. They use fake science to argue that being gay is just not natural, that homosexuality is an aberration, when in fact you find it widely among many different species. So in a real way, I think gay issues are skeptics' issues.
Yes, I would say they are. Indeed, I see a close relationship. I share your opinion on that, DJ, and I think that could be developed a little bit more. As a matter of fact, and maybe we should put a bit of emphasis on it eventually when the occasion calls for it.
Well, I agree with that. Not that this is the James Randi Educational Foundation for critiquing junk pseudoscience as regards gay rights, but widely. Yeah, you're saying widely, and this is one of many issues.
Yeah, certainly.
I want to thank you, Randy, for joining me on For Good Reason to talk about these issues, for you coming out on the show. I appreciate the conversation. Well,
thank you so much for calling, BJ, and to all the folks out there. I am off the cruise now. I'm back at the JREF, and I'm on email. And any comments that you'd like to make, I'd be happy to handle them. I expect a big reaction to this, but I don't think it's going to be a bad reaction, and I will answer your questions frankly and forthrightly.
Thank you for listening to this episode of For Good Reason. To get involved with an online conversation about today's show, join the discussion at forgoodreason.org. Views expressed on For Good Reason aren't necessarily the views of the James Randi Educational Foundation. Questions and comments on today's show can be sent to info@forgoodreason.org. For Good Reason is produced by Thomas Donnelly and recorded from St. Louis, Missouri. For Good Reason's music is composed for us by Emmy Award-nominated Gary Stockdale. Christina Stevens contributed to today's show. I'm your host, DJ Grothe.